Guten Tag, meine Damen und Herren. My name is Oleksandra Matviichuk. I'm a human rights lawyer,
head of the Center for Civil Liberties. This problem of illegally detained Ukrainian civilians is one of the main focus of Center for Civil Liberties since the first days of the war. I remembered how in February 2014 we sent mobile groups to Crimea, to Lugansk and Donetsk regions to document war crimes. Since this time, we have been documenting how Russian troops deliberately abducted, tortured, raped and killed civilians in the occupied territories. I personally interviewed hundreds of people who survived Russian captivity. They told me horrible stories, how they were beaten, raped, smashed into wooden boxes, and their fingers were cut, their nails were torn away, their nails were drilled, they were electrically shocked through genitalia. Some of people were forced to write something with their own blood. I remembered how one woman told me how her eye was dug out with a spoon. There is no legitimate purpose in doing such things. There is no military necessity in it. Russians have done the things only because they could. And this is a conscious policy of Russian state. Russia uses war crimes as the methods of warfare. It's a way how Russia attempts to break people's resistance and to save the control over the occupied regions. And that is why Russian troops deliberately exterminated active local people there. Mayors, priests, journalists, volunteers, any active people of community. And this fact is brightly described in numerous reports of international organizations, like in last one, the report of International Commission of Inquiry, which was created by UN Human Rights Council. The story of children writer Vadim Vakulenko is a bright example. Vadim Vakulenko wrote beautiful stories for children, and entire generation of Ukrainian children brought up on his daddy's book. But during Russian occupation, Volodymyr disappeared. His family hoped to the last that he is alive, but like thousands other Ukrainian civilians are in Russian captivity. But when Ukraine first liberated Kharkiv region, we found mass grave in a forest near Izum. Mass grave with dead bodies of men, women, children there. And in a grave, unmarked grave with number 319, we found a dead body of children writer Volodymyr Vakulenko. I know his family. It's very difficult for them to accept the result of identification. We don't know the numbers of illegally detained Ukrainian civilians. Only in our Tribunal for Putin database, we recorded more than 4,000 requests for help from their relatives. According to our estimation, approximately 7,000 of civilians are detained for current moment. But it can be just a tip of iceberg. We don't know the real scope. These people are detained in various places in occupied territories and different regions of Russian Federation. Russia doesn't inform their relatives, and that is why a lot of families have no idea where their beloved ones are, and this provides enormous suffering and additional pain. Russia ignores all provisions of international law and decisions of international organizations, because according to the law, Russia has no right to detain Ukrainian civilians, even during the war. They are under protection of 4th Geneva Convention, but Russia don't care. And that is why today we have to discuss two main topics. First, how to make Russia to release illegally detained Ukrainian civilians, and second, how to help these people to survive until the moment of liberation, how to make a cooling effect of brutality of human rights violation, how to force Russia to stop torture, sexual violence, to oblige to provide medical care and some human condition of their detention. And this is not easy questions to discuss.